The Canadian government is trying to break a strike again. At least that's what it looked like. It started with the government stopping a strike of rail workers some months back, and then a couple of weeks ago, a strike of longshore workers. Now, the government is laying off some of the 55,000 postal workers, members of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, CUPW, as they round out their second week on strike. Neither the Canada Post, what they call their post office, nor the union is saying at this point how many workers are affected, though Canada Post is saying the layoffs are, quote, limited. The union is saying that the calls that Canada Post is making to members, informing them that they have been laid off, are only intimidation tactics meant to coerce members to abandon the strike. CUPW says that the layoffs are not legal and members have nothing to worry about. While this intimidation tactic from the government corporation is less heavy-handed than the back-to-work orders given to the other workers, business interests are calling for such orders to be issued. At this time, though, Canadian Labour Minister McKinnon is saying that back-to-work orders and arbitration is, quote, not in the cards right now, though he did not rule out the possibility in the future. He also says the parties are too far apart for mediation to work. Meanwhile, the United States Postal Service has said they will begin to pause international mail to Canada until further notice. Workers at the Canada Post decided to strike because the company hasn't come close to meeting their needs in this current round of negotiations, despite the fact that workers agreed to a 2-year contract extension in 2021 due to COVID to help the country. For the better part of a year, they've been working under an expired agreement to try to give the Canada Post more time to make a deal. Like many workers, they've dealt with declining wages and working conditions. In particular, starting wages have only increased 6.7% since 2006, meaning their purchasing power has fallen by 50% in the same time frame. Despite this, CUPW has not asked for a 100% raise immediately, which is how much it would cost to reach their 2006 pay levels, but 22% over 4 years. An eminently reasonable demand, and instead of being thankful for their modesty in giving them everything that they're asking for, Canada Post came to the table with a laundry list of further concessions that the corporation is demanding the workers take. Concessions like new hires don't get benefits for a full year, new hires not getting worse benefits than what current employees get, and new hires not being eligible for the pension. In addition, rather than a 22% raise over 4 years, the Canada Post is offering an 11% raise over 4 years. They're also asking for less leave. The corporation also wants to expand a 7-day delivery, which the union is not necessarily opposed to, but wants to ensure that their members do not become part of the gig economy and that full-time work is protected. Canada Post is claiming that they need these concessions to stay competitive, pointing to a $3 billion Canadian loss since 2018. But workers say that number is dubious in the first place because they're counting investments as losses, and secondly, that there are things the corporation can do to remain more competitive without further deteriorating the quality of the job, like expanding services, particularly offering postal banking. The Palestinian Postal Service Workers Union last week during the strike sent a letter of support saying, on behalf of Palestinian postal workers, members of the Palestinian Postal Service Workers Union across occupied Palestine, we stand in solidarity with you and your members across Canada as you near the end of your first full week of strike at the Canada Post. We send you this message from under a rubble of our homes destroyed by the Israeli apartheid war machine. It is a message written with the blood of martyrs and the tears of grieving mothers. It is a message of true solidarity from your siblings and comrades in occupied Palestine. This because the CUPW has been particularly vociferous in their support of Palestinian workers during the onslaught from Israel.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.